Welcome back. This is pretty cool. This is a company that actually recycles styrofoam. Anita, forever we always thought styrofoam, well, you can't recycle it, right? But this is cool. This is great.
Well, you can't put it in the recycle can and set it out on the curb and have them pick it up. And then you don't want to put it in the landfill, right, Rick? Because that's just going to clog things up for us. So you came up with, well, you brought in this amazing technology. So we are at Eco Building, I want to say, right, Systems Core with Rick, one of the owners. And you know, you're thinking with the pandemic, a lot of people staying home, ordering a lot of stuff. They probably have a lot of this stuff around their house and their garage. And you'll take it.
Absolutely. We actually repurpose it, not necessarily recycle it. We grind it up, mix it with a proprietary mix, and we make fireproof, super insulated building blocks out of it.
This is what they look like right here.
This is an example.
And this is pretty incredible. How much does something like this weigh?
Well, our top of the line is our 10-inch asymmetric block, which is right over here, and that weighs about 53 pounds.
All right, let's see.
And then they go down from there. This is the heaviest block that we have, but it's simple for a single person to lift and stack like Legos when they're building a house.
And you can build a house here in the desert out of this.
We do it all the time.
Really?
And it's fire resistant. Bugs don't like to eat it.
Is it 120 degrees resistant?
It's R32 for that block, and then we have an R24 from that, and then you fill it with concrete. This is an example here where this is a wall block that we poured concrete and had rebar placed in it, and then removed some of the foam so you can see what the structural strength of this. So these are all concrete columns and beams. So strong you can't drive a truck through it.
This is insane. And you said hurricanes can...
We have a 250-mile wind rating on this, so hurricanes and tornadoes are not going to be able to blow this down.
So how does it work? Anybody from the public can just come and drop their styrofoam off here?
Sure, and we encourage that, and we'd like to see people do that instead of putting it in the trash and heading to the landfills. The experts say this stuff lasts for about 500 years in the landfill. We can take it, grind it up, repurpose it, and make great block out of it.
Do they need to call you ahead of time to make an appointment? They just come right in?
Monday through Friday, 8 to 4. I'm usually sitting at that desk. If they come to the front, I'll help them. But we do have a couple of bins in the back there that they can drop there.
Give everyone your address and website just in case they're interested.
Sure. We're Eco Building Systems. We're 8960 West Larkspur Drive, Suite 105. We're off of Cactus and 91st, right off the 101, about 6 miles north of the Cardinal Stadium.
Let's head in back here.
Sure.
This is pretty interesting. So you actually have your factory right here. This is where you make the blocks.
Correct. And right here in Peoria. And right now we're shut down so you guys can film.
Yes, for safety purposes.
But that's
Otherwise,
our factory.
It's all buzzing.
That's our factory. We grind that material up, that big white bag over there to the right, that's filled with ground up EPS. That goes into our molds with our mix. And then to your right here is blocks that have been broken down from our molds yesterday, and they're air drying for a day, and then they get palletized. Further back there you can see some of the pallets.
How many a day do you make?
Well, it depends on how many shifts.
How many orders? Okay.
We actually had to step up shifts because of the increase in costs for the lumber.
Right.
And this, we haven't had a price increase. This has always been less than lumber.
So that's
now
another
it's
option
even more.
If you're building. So many people are moving to the valley. They're buying homes, redoing them, or building new. And this is another option.
Yep.
Wow. Okay. So you guys, we're going to come back in a little bit, and we're actually going to go back there and show you how things are ground down from the very beginning. It's a pretty interesting process. So we'll be back.
This is interesting. Anita's checking out a West Valley company that recycles styrofoam. And for so long, styrofoam was kind of I don't want to say a dirty word, but, it didn't, break down in the landfill. And what do you do with styrofoam? We don't use styrofoam. So now we've got this whole new life for it.
Right, you can't recycle it, and then they don't want it in the landfill because it can last hundreds and hundreds of years. So the Eco Building Systems Corporation is repurposing it, and this bin right here is open to the public, so you can actually just bring any styrofoam you have by and drop it off. Rick, though, you only take number 6.
Yes.
How do you know it's number 6?
Well, it's called styrofoam, but if you break it apart and you look close, it looks like a bunch of white BBs stuck together, and it's rigid. It's not spongy. They sometimes have a stamp on it, but not always. But that's a good way to identify it, because some things we can't take, like spongy foam and packing peanuts and plates and cups that might have had food contamination.
Okay, don't bring that.
Correct.
Bring the big stuff, number 6, but this is the most common.
Absolutely,
okay.
and probably the most problematic for people.
And you want this stuff because obviously it helps you with your building materials.
It's the bulk, and if you look out here, all of this is recycled styrofoam that would have been sitting in the landfill for 500 years, and it's all been repurposed into great fireproof building block.
Pretty incredible. We're looking at video right now of this machine, and the reason we taped that a few minutes ago is because it's super loud, so we wouldn't have been able to talk, but take us through what happens when you are repurposing all this styrofoam and it's going through this machine.
Sure, we get foam from all kinds of sources. The big blocks come from block companies, cut-offs from stucco companies and sign companies.
Oh.
There's some of the things from the public, the coolers here that are filling up people's garages. All that stuff.
You take them out boating. You take them out on picnics.
Yep.
Okay.
We put them in that hopper area. That's our grinder, and that all gets ground up into an aggregate like this.
Okay.
Which gets mixed with our proprietary mix, and that's what makes the block that we have, and it makes it fireproof and super insulated, because the 87% of every product that we make 10 of them, is 87% of this 100% recycled styrofoam.
Big boom in the valley. A lot of people moving here. A lot of new builds.
Sure.
People are redoing older houses, and so this is something that as a homeowner, you don't have to be a builder. I can come to you and say, I want to purchase and build a house or rebuild a wall out of this material.
Correct. We'll sell the block.
Let's talk about the cost and how do you even work with this type of material?
Well, this gray block, insulated composite concrete form, ICCF, has been always less than wood, about 5 or 15% years ago. And now with the giant increase in lumber prices, it's significantly less than wood, and it creates a great building product. But use about $9 a square foot of wall to determine about how much your building is going to cost, and that doesn't include labor. But
that doesn't include labor. But you said you actually have a fantastic manual on your website, so people can figure it out.
Correct, and our website is theperfectblock.com, and it's all free, downloadable PDF. It's about 170 plus pages. I update it almost monthly, and it is a good reference guide for anybody who chooses or is so inclined to build their own house.
Fireproof?
Fireproof.
Withstands hurricane strength winds.
250 miles an hour.
I was asking about termites because that's something we're dealing with right now, and you said it actually is not very termite friendly.
No, it's there's no food value in it, and if they ingest it, they die. It's also an irritant. It's something they don't want to mess with.
What about heat? How well insulated is it?
Well, our top of the line block is what we call our 10-inch asymmetric. It has an asymmetric side, a thicker side and a thinner side. It uses a 4x6 core. It has an R32. And then it also has the thermal mass provided by the concrete. It's hard to quantify, so we leave it out, but just in material itself, R32 with our top of the line block.
Wow. Okay, you guys, it's pretty incredible and almost hard to comprehend. But they want your styrofoam. They don't want it in the landfill. If your wife is begging you to get it out of the garage, here you go. You can bring it. Your address once again, and your website once again.
8960 West Larkspur Drive, Suite 105, Peoria, Arizona. The website is theperfectblock.com.
All right, cool. Thanks for what you guys are doing. Pretty incredible work out here.
Thank you.
Back to you.